I'm Andrew Jones. I have a couple of roles really. I'm a live events technician for one thing, doing lighting and video for bands and corporate events, but also a musician as well.
And how did you
Is that
get
all right?
started doing? Let's start with the more worky stuff, the tech stuff. How did you get into that?
Like most people in my industry, I probably fell into it by accident. I know a lot of people that are the same. I grew up thinking I was going to be a musician, like every kid thinks they are, and then slowly realised that probably not going to happen. Started learning to record bands, started learning to do studio work, and that was the path I was planning on going down for a long time until one day somebody walked into. I was working at Stormfront in Middlesbrough at the time, and a mutual friend of ours, Paul Morton, walked in and basically ended up offering me a job flashing lights in Empire, and also said that Town Hall were hiring casual technicians. Now, I'd never done lights before, didn't know anything about them, but very quickly learned and never really left the industry since.
Yeah, now you're a professional lighting
Now I'm
live.
now I'm
Yeah.
self-employed, freelance, which is a terrible industry to be in right now, but usually it's very good, very fun, lots of driving in vans
Yeah.
down the country.
So from the music side of it, then what inspired you to get involved with the arts?
Um, so growing up, my dad always played guitar around the house, and a typical school family where you get told you have to learn to play a brass instrument, you have to learn to play a piano, stuff like that. And I hated it at the time. Absolutely hated playing piano, absolutely hated playing brass instruments. So I think I stopped them when I was in about year 6 before I went to secondary school. And then there was a band just having a practice a couple of years above me in secondary school. Heard that, kind of cool. Afterwards, I was in there and the guy was just sat playing drums. He was like, "Do you want to go?" I had a go. And I picked up very basic beat very quickly. And I went home that night and went, Mum, I want a drum kit."
Oh,
And didn't go down well at first, but managed to wear it down. And I think on my 13th birthday, I got a drum kit. And then since that, I've been back into music kind of 100%. And I've learned pretty much every other instrument imaginable to some extent.
yeah. What's the most random instrument you own then?
I have something called a halusi, which is a Chinese gourd flute that I bought it in Changsha when I was there.
Yeah.
I can't even get it out. It's in the attic, unfortunately. I've also
No,
got a
that's all right.
chanter, which is what you use to learn to play bagpipes with.
God, I don't like. I don't know. I don't. It never went past base for me. Like,
My girlfriend hates it.
yeah,
I've been allowed to have out guitars and a ukulele, and that's it.
yeah. Cause I mean, if I was inside a living room and I was having a cuppa with my friends, and I saw a Chinese thingy thing on the
Flute.
side, yeah, I
Yeah,
would be like, "What is this? Can we talk about this?" So maybe I'm in
yeah.
agreement. Maybe it stays in the loft. Um,
I think, to be fair, I think you've probably seen it before, Simon.
I
It
feel
was a
like I have.
weird red thing with a ball in the middle.
Did we ever talk about trying to get it onto something? Because that would be something that we probably
Yeah,
talk
because I
about.
think we
Yeah,
worked out it was in. I feel like we worked out it was in B flat, and we were just
yeah,
waiting for a song to come up in B flat at some point,
yeah. No one writes in B flat. No one writing
and
in
nobody
A
writes in
sharp.
it. Yeah, so maybe that's why though.
Yeah. Do you work much alone or do you collaborate with others?
Both. Um, from a arts industry point of view, where I'm doing my obviously for what I do for work. There's some gigs I'm on where I'm solely involved by myself to do everything. There's some gigs where we're part of a big team. If I'm production managing a corporate job, for example, we generally sit down not just with the client, but also with other technicians around to kind of go, let's come up with some ideas, let's brainstorm. So it's very much depends on the job sort of thing. And I love doing both really.
You'll have like a good perspective of this and being on both sides, but why do you think the creative arts are important to you personally? Or you can be a bit more general about it.
To me personally, because lets me afford the bills, but also because it, it
Yeah.
has been. I always say to people, my work is what my hobby was. So I grew up enjoying music. I grew up enjoying mixing bands. I started enjoying lights. Obviously, I wasn't making a lot of money in Empire, but it was still paying me money. But it was more of a fun thing, as fun as being in Empire till 4 o'clock can be. And it progressed into me being able to make a good living out of it. For other people, I think not just the same side of it as me, where people have turned a hobby into a career, but some people do it because that is their hobby. And not being able to come back from a day in the office, because not everybody is fortunate enough to work in creative arts, and being able to sit and play an instrument or stuff like that, I think is what gives people that release sometimes.
Yeah, it's also very like social for you as well, isn't it? Like you're in like
Yeah.
nightclubs and pubs and that till late, but I guess because of you don't drink, do you? So like your choice to
No, not for a long time.
be in alcohol fueled areas, like
Oh,
even
it's great
probably
fun.
when we were a bit younger, probably wasn't the norm. Like you didn't see many
Yeah.
sober teetotal people, did you, inside nightclub
No,
stuff?
well, I've met I've made a lot of friends in my industry. Most of my best friends are in this industry as well. I met my girlfriend in this industry. And I don't really have a lot of friends that aren't in this industry that I talk to regularly.
Yeah. Did we meet through the industry? I guess we did.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
It was at Mink.
Yeah, yeah, so yeah, easy.
I can't
Final
actually
question.
remember exactly how we met, but we
Yeah,
did
that's
meet.
what I'm like. I'm like, did you join? You didn't join the band first, did you? Like, and then became like,
No, because how
more
would we
solid.
have started speaking to each other?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Unless I'd
You must
gigged
have
there
came
with a
in
different
playing with someone.
band. I wonder if it was something like that Supercolour or something like that.
Yeah, possibly.
And
But
then we started talking and you needed,
yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? It's been a long time. Final question, but probably the most important. How has lockdown affected your work and your future plans?
I mean, it's affected my work drastically. I spent 5 or 6 months sat on the sofa, not leaving the house that much really, because as I say, most of my hobbies involve what the industry that currently isn't in existence. I feel great though. I've had 6 months to relax my body and not lift anything, which has been good, and kind of get a bit fitter and stuff. Future plans, I don't really know yet, because we don't know when it's going to open back up. And I think that's the biggest thing at the moment for me, is if the government turned around and said, right, tomorrow everything's fine, I'd be happy. Even if they said August, everything's fine, at least I've got that to work towards. So at the moment, I'm pretty much just taking it week by week. I'd managed to get some work in. I was doing a fairly decent amount of outdoor stuff that while it was allowed until this current month. I think I'll think more about.
Just in case somebody's watching this, we're in lockdown
Sorry.
2.0, which is dubbed.
Is that what it's getting called? 2.0?
It's what it's getting called socially. It's obviously, I don't think the government went out and went, lockdown 2.0. Can't wait for the 2.1 update. Can't wait to read the patch notes.
2.3 beta. Yeah, I don't really know future wise. I think it's just going to be a case of seeing what happens, because there's so many venues that are shutting down. But I think from the back end of it, there'll be so many new ones that are opening up as well. I think at the end of this. So I think it's I can't really answer that, what it's going to do for the future for me, because at the moment it's just a case of.
I mean, you just did, so like, you definitely.
Well, you know what I mean.
Like
in a broader plan, other than just I'm going to sit around on my ass and wait for the industry to come back, and hope I earn some money in the meantime.
Yeah, cool. Thanks very much. That is
right.
That's a 10-minute interview. Don't forget to. I haven't.